The enemy will not have anything to do with you if he doesn't see anything attractive. The enemy will not torment you if he doesn't see any kind of something that is intimidating to him. That's why he's tormenting you. But you are in the process, in the wave. And the master says, I will never leave you. That's what he said. He said, I will never. That's his word. That's a promise. I will never leave you. God is still in the business of releasing promises. We were in the airplane. It's as big as this place. Huge. The 747. Huge. And I looked at it. I said, Lord, will this go up? And when we flew, I didn't know the pilot. I didn't know the captain. We just went in and then sat. He said, put on the seatbelt. I put the seatbelt on. Don't know whether the plane is going to land or not. Don't know whether the pilot was drunk or not. Don't know whether the pilot got on the wrong side or not. But my mind was already made up that I am going to reach my destination. My mind was already made up that when I leave the shores of IAH, the plane is going to take off somehow. My faith is already connected that in the process of going up, the pilot is going to take me to where I'm going. And we're going to cruise no matter what is going to happen. So that is what my faith said to me, and I believed it. And I sat. And as the plane was getting ready to go, we didn't see the pilot. We didn't know nobody. All we heard was his voice. I didn't see him. But the Lord said in his word that greater is he that lives on the inside of you. So why do you have to be afraid? When I said, I will carry you through. No matter the storm that you fly in the sky, no matter the shaking and the turbulence of the plane, he said, I'm the pilot that you haven't seen, just like you haven't seen the captain who is flying the plane. But if you can trust me, the one that carried you from your mother's womb, I know the plans that I have for you is to have you to succeed in life. I'm going to take you through some process. I'm going to take you through some turbulence. But no matter how I fly with you, I will bring you to your destination. I will bring you to your destination. I will never leave you nor forsake you. The captain has sworn, I must fly this plane well and take you 200 passengers to your destination. While we were in the air, we took off. I said, Lord, this plane is heavy. We got to about 33,000 feet above the ground. And we got to a certain place and the plane started to shake. There was turbulence for over an hour. I could hear some people mumbling, Jesus, the blood, Jesus, 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 because it was really shaking. Imagine if anything could happen. But guess what? The pilot was calm. The pilot was calm. And then suddenly when he remembers and noticed that some people could be troubled, he said, be still. This is Captain. I'm still cruising with you. Just put on your seatbelt. This is just a little turbulence. It is something that we have to go through. Sometimes when you're going through problem, the Lord is silent and he's not saying anything at that moment in time. But all he's telling you is to keep the seatbelt on. What is seatbelt? The belt of fruit of the Spirit of God. Just keep your faith and trust in him that no matter what, I'm still going to carry you through. Some things might shake a little bit. Your wine might fall off the tray. Your food might split on the ground. But the captain said, I am still carrying you through. That no matter what, if you can trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not onto your own understanding, he said, I am taking you through the process. I want to talk to you about process. The title of my message in a few minutes is about process. I am going through the process. I don't know what you are dealing with at this very particular time. But God told me, he said, if you can hold on to this next season that we are going through right now, A turbulence that you're facing. You are cruising. We went up to 37,000 feet above. 37,000 feet up in the sky. And then when we got there, the plane began to cruise. And the seatbelt sign went, cha. The pilot said, you can now relax. And everybody relaxed. People could use the restroom. People were stretching their feet. People were listening to music. Until you go through turbulence in life, you don't get to a cruise moment. Until you go through turbulence in life, you cannot get to your cruise moment. Because turbulence is what prepares you for your cruise. Turbulence is what prepares you for your cruise. So if you are going through something now, it's because God is getting ready to have you take out the seatbelt so you can put you on a cruise mode. So the thing that almost tried to kill you, make you stronger. The thing that tried to destroy you, put fear in you, takes away every ability of fear to put you down. You become wiser and better. We cruised and cruised and cruised. I watched movies upon movies upon movies. I was just relaxing. And the lady kept bringing, she said, do you want wine? I said, madam, I don't want wine. Because I want my eyes bright so I can see. They were bringing all sorts of wine. The German people, they drink a lot of wine, White wine, red wine, all kinds of wine. When you get to a point in time in your life after you have fought and won, the Lord began to ask you, what do you want? What can I give to you? Because your faith has been troubled and shaken. He said, ask and it shall be given unto you. When after you have gone through it all, just need to do it is say, Lord, I call on your name and I ask, oh God, that you open the windows of heaven and pour me out a blessing, because your word never returned to you void. I've been tested, I've been tried, and I'm now victorious. All I need is pour me that new wine, because you've taken me through my process. Process. It is okay to fall sometimes. It's okay to have a meltdown sometimes. It's okay. You must have a conscious attitude to refuse to be defeated, to refuse to give up. Because what the enemy wants you to do is to give up. If you look around you today, some of the people that left the church is not because they couldn't fight the thunder and the tornado and the turbulence. They couldn't fight it. And those are the ones that the enemy is looking for. Because he wants you to jump out of the plane before the captain can say anything. He wants you to open the exit door and just get out. Guess what happened when that happens? Destruction. But according to the instructions of the Lord, when I am to hear his voice, when he says be still, because the master's silence is better than the word noise. I would rather have the silence of God than the noise of man. So many jumped out before their time. I'm done. No, because the enemy took you out of your comfort and your safety in order so he can get you to destroy you. Let's read the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 to 10. Give me the ESV. And I'm just trying to do this so I can pray for you all. And we'll close. Thank you, Lord. Somebody say, I'm still in the process. Say, I'm still in the process. My God, my God. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, from verse 8 to 10. ESV. It says, we are afflicted in every side or every way, but we are not crushed. Give me the ESV. We are perplexed, but we're not destroyed or driven by despair. Go to the next verse. We are persecuted. You are persecuted, but you are not forsaken. That tells that you are going through something. You are definitely going through something, man. Whatever the situation might be, you are going. He said, but we not destroy. Go to the next verse, verse 10. Look at what it is. Always what? Carrying in the body the death of Jesus. So what? That the life of Jesus may also be what? Manifested. I want to talk to you about process. Process. Now, there is something we call processed, and there is process. Process is a word that comes from the word action, or something that is taking a shape or is in motion, is trying to form, that is metamorphosing. That is what process is. Now, everything that God has created in life has got a way that God gives it time to process itself. The word processor comes from the word process. Now, I'm going to use a term from the computer. When you see a computer, when you turn it on, there's a processor that works to all the data all together, your files and everything. And when you click on this, the processor tells it what to do and all of that. And then it begins to work for you the way. And then the Windows begins to show you what you want to see according to what has been processed. Your life is a life of process. You are in a process. And any time and anyone who is in a process of a thing, if you are going through life thinking that you will just arrive, then I don't think you're human. Because the day you were born, something has to take shape in your life for you to start moving and walking. It is called process. And then little by little, you take baby steps. Little by little, you fall and you rise. Little by little, you learn how to say dada. Little by little, you learn to say mama, mommy. Process. Little by little, they start to feed you whatever your mama give you is what you. Then little by little, say mama, no, not that. That one, this one, that one. Little by little, it's called process. Life is all about process. Without process, there is no product. Without process, there is no success. That anything that has to have life has to go through process in life. Every process is determined by the capacity of the workload of what you want to achieve. My goodness, I need to break something down. There are some process computers that have the capacity to host 1 terabyte, 1 gig, 2 gig, 4 gig, 5 gig, and whatever gig you want to call it. I've come to realize something. It's not every computer that have the same speed. It's not every computer that have the same speed. The fact that this computer was able to open, I want to check the data. How many data are in there? It might not be really a lot. Because if it's just a 1 gig computer and it has just 1 file, it's going to open so quick. But when you have a 1 T and you have so many data inside, a data that is housing your prosperity, a data that is housing your breakthrough, a data that is housing your healing, a data that is housing your miracle, so it has to take some time to go through the process because it has to think of what to do with you. Sometimes delay is not denial. The bigger the capacity, the bigger the blessing. And sometimes people might not be able to wait for the process. They just want the blessing. You can never go through the blessing without going through the process. Process is what is going to prepare you. The process is what is going to challenge you. And sometimes the process takes some time. Sometimes the process is, Lord, you gave me a word through Pastor James. He said, I'm going to be rich. by this and that. I have not seen anything coming, Lord. And you are crying. And you say, I don't even think this pastor is really a prophet. I don't think he heard from God. Satan don't want you to go through the process. You know why? Because he knows that when you go through the process, you're wiser, you're stronger, your capacity is built better. Psalm 34, verse 19. My God. My God. Somebody say, I'm going through the process. It says, many are what? The afflictions of the righteous. That means you're going to be troubled. You are. Many are they. But there is a promise after that. The Lord said, I'm not going to leave you right there. Even as you go through the affliction, I'm not going to forget you right there. Even as people laughing at you, I'm not going to leave you right there. Even when you are feeling all alone, I'm not going to forget you right there, because the Lord will deliver you out of them all. He said, I've already got you covered. I've already sent the UPS, the DHL to deliver your package for you, because they have already processed you through whatever you're going through. Somebody said the process brings me to a place of blessing. How many of you have gone to Whole Food Market before? Okay. And things are so cheap there, right? They're very cheap. Are they cheap? They're expensive a little bit, right? I went one day to buy something, and the thing I usually buy at HEB for like $1 something, I saw it for like almost $4. I told my wife, I said, what is the difference between this and that one? She said, Daddy, this is organic. This one is organic. So I started talking about it. I said, what's the difference? They're all the same. My wife said, no, they're not. Because in America, it happened that organic product takes some time more to grow. They don't go through the chemicals. It go through process. The process is that it has to go through a soil. The sun has to hit it well. It has to be in a nice shade. It has to be taken care of with the right manure. Are you listening to me now? And the Lord began to speak to me. He said, that's how some of us Christians are. That some of us just want the already processed thing without going through the real process. That's why we are so cheap. That's why the devil looked down on us. That's why the enemy hit us, because we just want to be on the shelf. We just want to be displayed. Anything that go through process is not valued like the other things. Anything that takes time to go through process has a value that God has put on the inside. That means the devil has no game on your life. The enemy cannot touch you, because you have gone through the process of God with time, and you come out looking different. Though we may be the same, but there is something different about you. Though we might speak the same language, but there is something different about you. Though we might be going to the same church, but there is something different about me. Somebody say, I am going through my process time. Being the same in fellowship does not mean the same in grace. Graduated from the same school doesn't mean we have the same brain. We may have graduated at the same time, but there is something different with me, because I waited. I went through a process in time. I am valued more differently. I am not displayed on a shelf just like anybody else. Whenever people want to see me, they come quietly to look for me, because I'm looking for the time that God will display me. When God gets ready to display you, you are prized differently. That's why I tell my ladies, don't chip on yourself. Don't chip on yourself. Don't chip on yourself for any man. Because you know you've gone through some process. You're not a $1. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror. Say, I am fearfully. Do you know what that means? You are fearfully. That means you have buried some things. God took time on you. God did not drop you. God took time on you and formed you and made you the way He wanted you to be. So you have gone through some things in life. That's why any man cannot talk down on you or look down on you, or you begin to feel like, you know what, I'm just anybody. No, you are not, because you've gone through some process. You got to learn to appreciate the hands of God that is upon you. Don't let anybody say, okay. Compliment. You see my wife? Tell her anything. Oh, she can sing, she cannot sing. She knows send anybody. She will sing. I would tell her, Mama, this your singing is irritating my ears in a good way. But please, if you can just keep quiet. She'll be like, I don't care. God is the one that gave me the voice. I'm going to sing it anyhow. You know what? Because she knows who she is. Don't let anybody bring you down. When you are a child of God, whether a man or a woman, don't let anybody validate who you are. Let Jehovah validate who you are, because you are costly and fearfully made. Change is not an event, it is a process. You may want to write that down. Change is not an event, it is a process. The fact that things have changed right now doesn't mean that's the end of your life, Mama. You are still in the process. Trust him in the process. Trust him in the process. You may run some things. You may lose some things. But he said, I will never leave you. I am still in the process. The captain is still with you. He's still cooking something for you. He's still preparing something for you. A dream without a process is a nightmare. A dream without a process is a nightmare. Are you listening to me? You got to come to a place of like, who am I? Don't let people define you. People call you all kind of things. So I don't listen to all this nonsense on Facebook. I love to laugh. I love to play. I love to be myself. I don't like people trying to complicate you. You're a pastor, they define you by just be like this and be like. Not everyone is going to like you in your process. Get that clear. Not everyone is going to appreciate you in your process, because in your process you will attract viruses. You attract malware and spyware. All those viruses, I don't know their names. You will attract them. But as long as you got the antivirus, which is the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit will change everything that comes to damage or to destroy your process. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 8. It is the Lord who goes before you in the process. It is the Lord who goes before you. Not you. Not your pastor. Not anybody. It is the Lord that goes before you and will be what? With you. I love the next one. What did he say? He will never leave you. Is that a command? Is that a promise? He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. While you are going through your process, don't you know that he knows what you're dealing with right now? He says what? Do not be what? Afraid. If you can kill the spirit of fear in you, you will be able to trust God. When I sat in the plane, the spirit of fear almost gripped me at some point. I told my wife about it. The enemy started telling me. I said, oh, what about this turbulence now? And then the pilot will route this plane to the place around Iraq side. And then, you know the missile that went and shot this one. He was painting a picture of all kind of negative things. And I said, devil, I rebuke you. You are a product of what you conceive. You are a product of what you conceive. Because the moment fear comes in, the enemy has room to work more in you. And he can plant that seed, and that seed can start to grow. There is power in fear. So you got to deem it right there and say, fear, get out of me. If I die, I die. And so be it, whatever. And I'm not going to die. This pilot is going to land me safe. And it was the best landing ever when we landed. He said, do not be afraid. Do not be what? Discouraged. Everything that God has created, he created in time for us to know that process. Sometimes we take you through hurdles, through disappointments, through setbacks, betrayal. But as long as you're still in the process, you are going to come out victorious at the end. I don't know what process you are in right now. And in the process, The enemy may have been whispering to you, maybe like he did to some people, it's time to leave this church. Or maybe the Lord is saying to you, I kept you for a reason because you are part of the process for this church. I don't know what other processing you're dealing with in your life as a person, financially, in relationship. He said, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. We just read that. Now, you want to ask God, what do you want from me? How do you want me to do it? You can ask God this in quietness, in sincerity. Give him some time. The Lord will speak to you. Because the enemy will be the one to occupy your mind when you're hurt or angry. And he will take you out of the process of God. You might be in the will of God, but when fear and discouragement come, you're taken out of the will of God. Because the will of God does not come with fear. The will of God comes with perfectness, with a still voice. And he tells you, you can make it. It's going to work out. All you just need to do is align yourself with me and watch how things are going to change.